Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live game day. NFL edition continues on the SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. I am Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM, Channel 159. As the holiday season is kind of beginning, isn't it? There's Christmas commercials on TV. Thanksgiving is now behind us. We've got NFL snow games. Seems like the holidays to me. We're in the holiday spirit right now. We're in the red Buffalo Bills jersey this evening. And so far, so good for the Buffalo Bills. Not so great for the total as Jake Moody, who I've stood up for. And I think Jake Moody, and there's McCaffrey. McCaffrey's going to the room right now. So he was in the tent. Now they're showing McCaffrey going to the San Francisco 49er locker room. He's walking on his own, but he's walking very gingerly. Well, I never understand that. Like, that's not, I don't understand. I don't understand, like, why they can't shovel the snow for people. And the other one, here's a big run by Cook. Why couldn't this be the first play of the game in the first series? Why did this got to happen? Touchdown, Cook. James Cook just popped one like 65 yards or so, guys. We'll get you the exact number, but it's Cook for the touchdown. And the Bills fans are throwing snow in the air. The Bills players are doing snow angels. It's always fun in the snow, baby, and that helps the over. Touchdown, Buffalo! Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. So touchdown Buffalo. Cook just exploded. And Dave, I played James Cook to score the first touchdown of the game. Easy to say now he scored. Hey, we played anytime touchdown. Hey, guys, so we hit the anytime touchdown with Cook at least. But always frustrating when he scored a second touchdown. But once again, I'm not sure that happens, Dave, if they're not in the snow. Right? As we talked about, man, when you're the guy, like Cook takes off, how the hell are you supposed to catch this guy in the snow, bro? How are you supposed to explode quickly and catch him when he's already got a head start on you? Can't.
Yeah, and hopefully there's a lot more of not being able to catch him and other guys in the snow for your over. But right now, definitely pacing trending in the right direction. So you got to love that.
Up to 46.5 right now. In-game total, 46.5. Buffalo Bills up 14-3. San Francisco 49ers are currently getting 13.5 points right now. Money line plus 550 on San Francisco. Buffalo all the way up to minus 900 on the money line. And now, guys, from an in-game perspective, now's the time to take a look at these numbers. No McCaffrey. They're down by 11. This game could be getting out of hand quickly, actually. San Francisco are going to need to score, i.e. they're going to need to start throwing the football. Losing McCaffrey's not going to help them. Right now, run the football. I think they're going to start to throw it a little bit more here, Dave. Could be an opportunity for some props from a San Francisco offensive perspective.
Yeah, someone who was on the 49ers before this, the way it's going, I mean, it's still early, but it's definitely starting to – seems like it could turn out to be the type of game that Buffalo does run away with if the 49ers can't get something going. I mean, like I said, they're going to have to throw the ball. We're going to find out. I mean, how healthy is Purdy? He's definitely going to get tested. This is definitely not the start that San Francisco wanted to get off to, but I think that we're definitely going to see some points. If San Francisco is going to have to put on some points, and if they don't, we'll probably see some turnovers and some points for the Bills going the other way with them trying. So I think that this one's probably going to get – they were probably going to get up to 45 or more points in this one.
So, guys, this is insane for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's passing yard prop right now, Dave, is 136.5. 136.5. He's at 31 yards. Still a lot of football left in this game. Like, a couple of plays, like, a little dump off and a screenplay for 50 and 60. Brock Purdy has 27 passing yards right now. His number is 187.5. The only thing that worries me about this play, I'm going to take Brock Purdy right now, guys, but the only thing that concerns me about this is something that Dave just stated, that Brock Purdy's far from 100%, right? So, like, he's, if he gets beat up and this game gets really out of hand, then we could have a problem with the Brock Purdy prop. But San Francisco are fighting for their playoff lives. He's a competitor. He's playing. He's going to tough it up. He's playing, and the thing is, I brought it up earlier, Dave. He played at Iowa State. I mean, you want to talk about a bad weather quarterback, bro? It doesn't get much worse than that at Iowa State. I'll tell you that. So
yeah, I mean, you got Iowa State and Wyoming going at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even though Josh is from California, he played at Wyoming, where the weather's terrible there often, cold as hell. Worse, like college football weather is worse, guys, because they play in these small towns in the middle of nowhere. It's not like these big, like it's, you're in the plains. There's no big buildings protecting stuff. Like it's cold, and the wind is real. So 14-3, we jumped in. We took Brock Purdy over 187.5. And you know what, guys? Because I think right now on this drive, he's going to do some dink and dunks here, and we'll get some. I think we'll be able to hit this. So, Dave, taking a look at tomorrow's game, what are your thoughts on the Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns? Man, the Denver Broncos have really turned the corner with Bo Nix and Sean Payton this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns coming off of a big win against Pittsburgh from Thursday night, but
that's right.
This is just one of those things. The Broncos have just owned the Browns for forever, really. Looking at the last 16 times that these teams have played in Denver, Broncos are 14-2 against the Browns, 14-2 in the last 16, 25-7 all time. And even though the 6 points
you are a Browns fan too, right?
Oh yeah, so I know all about.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's coming back now. I'm like, yeah, oh boy, Cleveland. People are big on history anymore, but it'll come up. It'll come up tomorrow. Yeah, Cleveland going to Denver, of course, there's been the fumble and the drive.
But even last year when the Browns were rolling a little bit with Flacco, they got beat pretty good in Denver. It's just, the history goes back, but no matter what era you look at, what decade you look at, the Browns have been getting owned by the Broncos. And even though it seems like Cleveland should be able to hang within 6, you look at the Broncos, I mean, 5 out of their last 6 wins have been by double digits. And the Browns, when they've gotten beat, they've got beat by a margin as well. So I'm looking at the Broncos with the -6. I think that Cleveland will hang around for a while, but when it's all said and done, I think the Broncos will cover. If you want to be a little bit more conservative too, if you wanted to do a same-game teaser, just take the Broncos money line and take that over 36. We've been talking with this game with the 49ers with the snow. I think that total of 42 is still a little bit low in that Cleveland-Denver game, and if you tease it down to 36, I think it's way too low. I think we're going to see some more points than expected. Jameis Winston, he loves playing in the snow, and he's going to sling the ball one way or another. So
he has fun one way or the other. Yeah, he's going to go up there and do his thing. Let me ask you though, and it's interesting you brought up. Actually, it's true. Cleveland coming off the win in the snow game is teams, and right now, guys, San Francisco. It doesn't matter that it's not McCaffrey. Now Mason's just carving him up the middle of the field. So San Francisco are punching back and inside the red zone right now. So, man, this game, like I said, guys, this game is opening up right now. But, Dave, there's a big trend in past years, but this year I've seen it cash quite a bit as well. Teams with extended rest in the NFL cover point spreads. And this is extended rest, right? They played Thursday, and now you get it all the way off until Monday. You're talking about an 11-day rest period, which is rare, and teams have often covered the point spread in that situation. So the Browns are in that situation. Meanwhile, the Broncos are coming off the win at the Raiders last week. They were in Vegas, but that has been an angle. Teams that have had that 10-day, that Thursday to Sunday layoff has been good for teams.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that seem like this should be a good spot for the Browns. I mean, the extended rest. I mean, they showed against the Steelers that they have not yet given up. I mean, they're still playing hard.
Inflated number, too, a little bit, right, with Denver. Denver's hot, so it's a little bit inflated number too, It is. There's just been a lot of spots that look like good positions for the Browns that they just haven't showed up in, and I think that it's just one of those things. Like you said, sometimes history you can bank on it too much, but everything I've just seen throughout life, I just can't get behind the Browns in Denver. We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, it's going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
So San Francisco punts from the Buffalo Bill 40-yard line. Rousseau got to Brock Purdy. I think in ideal conditions, maybe they would have tried a 57-yarder. And even maybe if he didn't just miss a 45-yarder, they would have say, all right, let's see if you could drill a 57-yarder through the snow. But they didn't have the taste for it, so they punted from the Buffalo Bill 40-yard line. Worked out for San Francisco. They downed the ball on the Buffalo Bill 2-yard line. There's about a little over 3 minutes left in the first half of play. We got a couple of more minutes with Dave Delano before we get him out of here. New updated point spread, San Francisco plus 11.5. In-game total 42.5 right now. Monday Night Football, we were just discussing the Cleveland Browns. They're getting 6 right now. The total is 42. And Dave, Thursday Night Football, we've got a good one. The Green Bay Packers go to the Motor City to take on the Detroit Lions, the unstoppable Detroit Lions. Although the Bears covered the number on Thanksgiving, the Lions are laying 3.5 points against the visiting Packers. The total is 51, and this is going to sound pretty public and markish of me, but I think I'm going to bet the over 51 in this football game. And should be noted, too, both these teams just played on Thursday on Thanksgiving, guys, so it's not a short week situation for them. They'll have a full week, so it's an unusual Thursday nighter. Like sometimes the Thursday nighters, they'll play to the under, and I get it, especially in a division game. But both these teams have had a full week to prepare for this big football game, Dave.
Yeah, I think if you want to get on the Lions in this one, it's probably better to do it sooner than later. I find it hard to think that the Lions are going to go into this game still being just a 3.5-point favorite at home, as dominant as they've been. I think if you want the Packers, I would wait a little bit, see if that number gets to 5 or so, and yeah, that's a lot of points. But whenever you're looking at the indoor conditions, I mean, we got two explosive offenses. It's hard to go with although the Lions, some of their games have been trending a little bit lower the last few weeks, but
you're right.
It's still tough to go with the under in this one because, like you just said, that's a great point. This is not a short week. A lot of times that's a factor with these Thursday games. But I would probably lean early on. I would probably lean on the Lions here with that 3.5. But I'd probably get it to 3. But we'll see. I haven't made a play on it just yet.
So we jumped in on Josh Allen over 140.5 passing yards. They were just pinned on their own 2-yard line, but Josh Allen just connected with Dawson Knox. And because of the conditions, like I said, it's hard to tackle. It's hard to catch guys. Just everything's harder for the defense. And Knox is a load to deal with. Knox just turned, I think they just picked up about 50 yards here. I'll get you the exact number, but big play for Knox and the Buffalo Bills. So suddenly the Bills are knocking, now the Bills have a chance to put more points up on the board. So, Dave, before we get you out of here, I agree. It seemed the number seems light, and I'm not ready to pull the trigger on the Lions yet, but I'm just surprised. I do agree from a betting perspective that people will take the Lions, and that number's going to go up. But I can't help but let's take a look at the college football lines for the conference championship games quickly. I can't help but, like, when I see some of these numbers, I was like, wow. I was like, oh, that's going to go up. And it didn't. Like, I'll start off with a Big Ten championship game. The game is in Indianapolis, so it is in the Midwest, but the Oregon Ducks minus 3.5 against Penn State. I don't think Penn State are that good. That's not the right way of putting it, but I don't think Penn State are on Oregon's level. And, minus 165 on the money line, minus 3.5. I'm surprised that Ducks aren't bigger favorites, considering that they are the only undefeated team in the country.
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I get exactly what you mean. Like, Penn State, they're a good team, but just when it comes to playing a top 5 team, top 10 team, especially in this situation, top 5, they just
not at Penn State either. Like, if it was at Penn State, okay, you know what I mean? But it's a neutral field, perfect conditions, neutral field.
You're right. I mean, that makes a big difference. You talk about the whiteout so many times on those night games. This is not the situation here in a neutral field in Indianapolis. So it's hard to, if you just look at the teams and resumes blindly, I guess I could see wanting to take a shot on Penn State, but it would be the Ducks here for me. It definitely would be the Ducks here for me, just kind of off of the first glance. It does seem a little bit light. You're kind of thinking that later on in the week, will we see maybe a 4.5 or 5? I would think so.
The other point spread's intriguing ones, the big games, Clemson and SMU. This game is in Charlotte, neutral field. It's at the same time. Both these games are at 8 o'clock Saturday night Eastern time. Clemson and SMU. SMU are 2.5-point favorites. The total is 55. Texas and Georgia play. It was in Atlanta. Georgia and Texas. Texas are 3-point favorites. 3-point favorites. The total is 49. Arizona State are 2.5-point favorites against Iowa State. And UNLV at Boise State. I don't know where's the I'll get the Iowa State, Arizona State. Do you know what's the location, Dave? Do you know off the top of your head? Iowa State, Arizona State.
I think that's in Dallas.
I think it's in Dallas, at Jerry's World, right? Yeah, exactly. Big 12's at Jerry's World. And a UNLV game, that's a road game. The way they do it. Boise are playing at home. Listen, I've been pro UNLV, and I think if UNLV win this game, they deserve a spot in the playoffs. But with that being stated, I don't think they're going to win the game. And, talk about a cold weather game, cold weather location, college football. You got Ashton Genty here. This is a big spot for UNLV. I'm surprised that Boise aren't bigger than 3.5-point favorites too.
Yeah, that line is almost priced as if it's at a neutral site. And like you just mentioned, it's not. I think if it was at a neutral site indoors, UNLV's got a chance for the upset, but it's not. And that line is kind of saying if it was at a neutral site, you would only have this maybe at 1.5 or 1. Yeah, I think Boise State with the home field advantage is the play there. Another thing that Texas and Georgia game definitely will be interesting after what Georgia did the first time. Although Texas is a little bit out of their element. I do like SMU though, even though they're a little bit more traveling. I like this SMU team a lot before the season started, and I think that they're going to finish the job against Clemson. That's probably the one that I like the most off first reaction.
We got about 15 seconds. Where can people find you online?
Follow me on X at Get Sports Strong and GetSportsStrong.com. Got a Cyber Monday sale. Use the promo code Monday.
Rocket. Promo code Monday. Thanks, Dave. We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, hey, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Great stuff with Dave Delano breaking down the college football point spreads. We'll get back to that. Conference championship games. We'll get you up to date with next week's NFL point spreads. Big one on Thursday night football with the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers in Detroit. Lions laying 3.5. But as I was saying to Dave, and I love this UNLV team, and I actually do legitimately believe if they win this football game, they belong in the playoffs. Whatever. You're putting Boise State in. Right, UNLV, if UNLV wins this game, they have enough impressive wins, right? They beat Kansas. Kansas beat a bunch of teams that are really good and just, playoff caliber teams. Kansas just beat them. All right, it's the James Cook show right now tonight. I don't want to say we got screwed, but let's just say we got screwed. We're gamblers. We're allowed to complain. We got screwed. How the hell did Ray Davis score the first touchdown of the game? He hasn't even been on the field since. Like seriously. Honestly, he's one of those, you got to be kidding me. Right? It was one of those, I don't think they were planning on it. They gave him the ball. Cook came out of the game. They gave him the ball. Boom. He popped a big one to like the 2-yard line or whatever, 4-yard line. And I guess they figured whatever, give it to him again. He deserves, I don't know, like whatever their little method is when they get inside here, right? And we all know, like, they all play games with this stuff. You got to keep everybody happy, but whatever. Davis runs hard, though. When this kid gets on the field, he runs hard. So we got under a minute left right now to Bills' second and goal. San Francisco are getting frustrated and pushing the Bills around after the play right now. We've already hit the Cook touchdown, anytime touchdown. It'd be nice that we didn't hit the Kincaid. With Kincaid out, we played Dawson Knox, first touchdown at 12-1. We didn't hit that because Davis scored the first touchdown of the game, but we do have Dawson Knox at plus 210 anytime touchdown, and I wouldn't mind a Dawson Knox touchdown here. We jumped in on Josh Allen, over 140.5 passing yards. Cook has done a lot of damage here on this drive, but Josh did hit Dawson Knox for a big play. And I believe he dumped one off to Cook here that turned into a little bit of something here as the snow continues to come down in Buffalo. It's really coming down in Buffalo. There's snow all over the field. Yeah, Cook's got 8 rushes for 100 yards. He's got 100 yards rushing already, Cook. 1 touchdown. He might score a second. He's throwing the ball. He's open. Oh, God, he waited too long. It wasn't Knox, but who was that? He was open. I don't know why Josh didn't see it quicker. Like, honestly, like it seemed to be open there in the it seemed to be open in the corner of the end zone. Josh rolled out but just didn't see it. And then it was too late after. Boom. Like the play was there. The play was there, but Josh just didn't see it in time. It was to Dawkins in the end zone. So it would have been Dawkins and another tight end, not Knox though. So we got a 3rd and goal right now with 47 seconds left in the first half. 14-3 Buffalo. I bet the over, so a touchdown would really help instead of a field goal here, I'll tell you that. And they get the touchdown. Man, the Bills are balling. This is a good football team, I got to tell you. Mac Hollins with the touchdown. I told you, the Bills are a diversified team. The Bills, if we're their heavy metal band, they're Slipknot. There's like 10 of them. Touchdown, Buffalo! And the snowballs are flying in Buffalo in a fun way tonight. That was a hell of a catch and throw. See, Josh missed the last one. He wasn't missing on this one. That was a really nice catch from Mac Hollins. Like Josh, you can argue he pushed off. They were both jostling with each other, the DB and him, but Josh slung it like 80 miles an hour, like from close range. Like that ball had a lot of zip on it, and it was like tailing away from Hollins, so it was one of those all hands type of deals, like doof. You know what I mean? Like on the edge of the end zone too. Not a lot of room to work with. All hand. Like I can't move my feet. I got to catch this with my hands here right now. And Josh put it right in the only place that only Hollins could get it. Boom, touchdown Buffalo. I'm not going to say it's a rout, but we're off and running. 21-3 in the snow. So it's 21-3 right now. They got 41 seconds. I don't know if San Francisco, I doubt they're going to be able to do anything with this. We really didn't get that much from Josh on that, though. I thought we had more. I thought we had more on the pass to Knox. I see. Yeah. Oh, he's up to 96 right now. Not bad, actually. I got over 140 and a half. So Josh up to 96 yards right now. Cook popped one for 65. That pass to Knox was for 39. So Josh is 8 for 10 for 96. Casey Hudson will step up and in with the halftime show. We'll see you in the third quarter. We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, hey, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you picking your own sheep as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. But that's what your grandma would do to you. Just here on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, it's going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome into Pro Football Today, the halftime show here on SportsGrid TV for some Sunday night football. We've got the Niners heading into this matchup 5-6, taking on the Bills, sitting at a 9-2, and right now the Bills are on top, 21-3, heading to their respective locker rooms. And let's just say this. Before the game got going, just as everyone's trying to get to their seats, rustle through the snow, which a lot of volunteers I heard from a good friend in production mentioned that they go and they clear all the seats out. Everyone thought that this was going to be a little bit chill on the weather side. Well, no pun intended. Things got cooler and the snow just decided to pour down, changing the conditions, changing probably a number of game plans here. And what I love that the commentators pointed out is that that's going to change this game from being speed and pace to a lot more strength and tact. So that's what we started to see. Saw two teams, Bill starting with the ball, try to come out and kind of air out the ball a number of ways, because why not? You've got the weapons and you've got the consistency behind you, but not a couple things went their way when it came to that game plan. The 49ers defense was able to come in strong and be disruptive and probably slow down any chances of them trying to have an aerial attack. Then everything started to revert to the ground game. With that being said, 49ers were only able to pick up a field goal in that first quarter. Then we get into the second quarter and things get more interesting. Weather aside, as the game plans readjust here, you start to see more of a ground game from both sides. And unfortunately, who is the workhorse ground game-wise when it comes to the 49ers? Christian McCaffrey. Who were the 49ers so excited to finally have back active on their roster? Christian McCaffrey. And who ends up taking a weird cut inside during one of his runs, heading over to the sideline and then eventually down the tunnel? Christian McCaffrey. This can be unfortunate news for the Niners, who rely so heavily on him. And yes, we've seen a lot out of Mason throughout this season. Closing out, heading into halftime, he was sitting at 51 rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey was at 53 rushing yards before heading down to the tunnel. So if you're looking at anything to jump on, I'm not seeing it over on FanDuel. I've been checking leading up to halftime, but I'm not seeing anything rush-wise for Mason. I am seeing touchdowns, though, at plus 340, and that could be interesting because if they can finally get a better percentage on their third down conversions, them being the Niners here, then Mason's going to have to be that guy to help them out. As the game has now slowed down, as they're trying to find a way into the end zone, you're looking at a team that's going to try to get Mason probably to get them through to grab a touchdown. So probably gauge that when it comes to some odds and lines and props. But more importantly, the only other guys we've seen get involved for the Niners have been Debo with 2 receptions, George Kittle with just 1. So they're going to have to try to figure some things out. We know that Brock Purdy is in rare form, a bit banged up as well. But outside of that, you're looking at them probably trying to use maybe Kittle in the red zone as well. But he's sitting at low passing props, but his percentage-wise, when completing the ball, it hasn't been too bad. He was going toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, both of them sitting at 83.3% before Josh Allen had that passing touchdown to close out the second quarter. So a few things to take a look at, probably not so much when it comes to the aerial attack. Now, something else that we're going to be gauging throughout halftime before these two teams get back out on the field is that at the top of the second quarter, spread and total-wise, I was seeing 7.5 when it comes to the spread, 40.5 when it comes to the total. Then that adjusted as the touchdowns started ramping up for the Bills, and I was seeing a 38.5 when it comes to the total. This is one of those moments where if I was chatting with my good friend Joe Lisi, he'd be like 38.5. You're talking about two teams that might be able to touch the over on this one because as the Bills continue to stride forward and readjust their game plan, they can find the end zone more consistently. And where they are winning battles right now is in that third down conversion category. They were sitting at 75% in comparison to the Niners, only 40%. Now, touching back on Christian McCaffrey for a second, he wasn't the only guy that ended up going out in the top of that second quarter. It was also Warner, but the good news is at the end of the second quarter, you saw Warner come back in. A key defensive piece, by the way, felt his presence immediately, but he seems to still be pushing through some discomfort after every play that he executes. So we'll gauge if he is able to stick through 4 quarters of football. Now you've got the snow involved, and if the defense weakens for the Niners, then that's going to look at some favorable numbers over on the Bills side. Now, heading into halftime, I saw another adjustment on the spread and the total, 15.5 on the spread, 44.5 on the total, as we're seeing the Bills find more success and being able to convert on third downs and execute when it comes to the red zone. But what's going to help with all of this is going back to what the commentator said. Not a game about speed, even though James Cook is completely cooking the Niners defense, a game more about strength and power. So when we're talking about strength and power, if James Cook comes out and continues to have a hot game, fantastic. His numbers went from 37.5 to 108.5 to 140 right before halftime. Something I would jump on because he's sitting at 100 plus rushing yards already, and they're even using him in the pass attack. So he's a guy that you can jump on a number of things for. But sticking with the category of powerful and strong, I'm sure a lot of you guys know where I'm going with this now. It's got to be the tight end category. We saw a big connection between Josh Allen and Knox, but also we saw Matt Collins get involved in the end zone, picking up another touchdown for the Bills. Yeah, the Barefoot Bandit was able to grow and reel in a TD for this Bills team. So I'm not sure what his numbers were for touchdown props, but more than likely I like looking over at Dawson now because you're looking at a guy who's already made a big connection with Josh Allen. Now you're talking about a team that's going to try to get their tight ends more involved, to use the body matchup, to have the powerful strength, be able to come and accommodate getting down the field for them. So Knox is something that I would keep an eye on. He's sitting at 11-1 to pick up a touchdown tonight. And I like that because, like I mentioned, they're probably going to start looking at tight ends as well as this running back group. James Cook is unstoppable at the moment. I already talked about the fact that he's sitting at 100-plus rushing yards. His number altered up to 140. I think it's a doable task because you don't see Allen just resorting to him every single play. You're seeing him kind of be rhythmic in when he looks for Cook and then when he tries to go for airing out the ball. And then if they come back out from the halftime and we're not seeing Warren being able to execute as strong or be able to be as explosive, and we're starting to see things weaken defensively for the Niners, then we're going to see Josh Allen probably get into a little bit more of a passing rhythm. He did try to find Amari Cooper a couple of times. I wouldn't be surprised to see where his numbers lie. But when it comes to receivers on both sides or for both teams, props for majority of the first half of the game, we're only sitting at a high of maybe like 42 receiving yards, and that's for some of their top dogs. So guys that have to get more involved on the Niners side is going to be Samuel, as well as George Kittle. I'd be surprised not to see Kittle pick up a couple more receptions. I know he's helpful in picking up some of those blocks, especially with a banged up Brock Purdy, but they're going to need him to get downfield, and they cannot just keep settling for field goals or field goal attempts, regardless of if the weather lightens up or not. You're talking about a guy that's not fully ready to go. So looking at things for props or gauges that I like the most, it's going to be Cook's numbers. It's going to be, and then you've got Knox, who is sitting at 37.5 when it comes to receiving yards. Bump that up to 42.5 receiving yards. I wouldn't be surprised for him to get those big chunk plays and help out Josh Allen a number of times. Now, Allen, we know that he's quick to kind of break up on a rush. So if we're talking about a game where the ground game is going to be impactful and probably favorable for both teams, I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe touch that 20 to 29.5 rushing yards. Last I checked, it was sitting at 29.5 for his prop. And something else, I know that he's going to want to protect his hand when it comes to making these plays, but we also see Josh Allen be very, very all in when it comes to getting his team in the end zone. So those are some things that I'm going to be looking at as we start coming out of halftime. See if McCaffrey can be able to be a part of this game, but I highly doubt it. It just looked so uncomfortable when he was getting ready to take off on that run, going for that deep cut. And you saw it before any contact was even made, before he even went down on the field. It was extremely uncomfortable. And you saw the frustration in his face once he got to the sideline. It kind of said that he's probably not going to make it back into this. So further examination taking place during halftime at the end of that second quarter. And then my top players for you guys to keep an eye on is going to be Knox for those chunk plays. Let's see the tight ends get more involved. Cook, all his numbers up to that 140 because I think he's going to continue to be even better. Not to mention his receptions was sitting at 1.5. Big reception from Josh Allen. His numbers were sitting at 13.5. He got one reception for 13 receiving yards. So probably continue to check out those numbers as well because James Cook, or as our good friend Tom Vecchio would say, this is a James Cook game, and I think he's going to continue to cook on the other side at halftime. So make sure you keep all of your coverage, lines, odds, props, and all betting angles with us here on SportsGrid. Follow SportsGrid over at SportsGrid and continue to hang with us here for Sunday Night Football. Niners taking on the Bills. Let's see if the Niners can get back into this.
two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
Fillet Indiana. They would smash them.
What?
Honestly.
Do you listen to yourself speak? That's not a reality question. They have not played each other. You are using hypothetical.
And they got embarrassed.
As so many
if
teams
they would
do.
have won that football, yes, that's you're 100%
that's the thing, guys.
correct.
No.
The
Stop.
only
Please stop.
The only
Let me
argument
speak.
is Indiana is a decent football team and a product of their environment.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back into Pro Football Today, the halftime show here on SportsGrid TV. Running through the Sunday night football matchup between the Niners and the Bills. Bills on top 21-3. Niners did open the scoring with that field goal. Try to pick up another one. Top of the second, we're not able to convert. Weather conditions got very crazy just as kickoff went underway, so the guys are weathering through a lot. No pun intended. Now, some things we were discussing in terms of lines and props that we're going to be looking at. The quickest update while we went to that quick break, spread adjustment up to 18.5. Total remained at that 44.5, as I previously mentioned beforehand. And then just going to continue to illuminate what the commentators pointed out, just so that you have the best things while you're looking at different odds, lines, or props, or if you're doing any live betting at the moment. They talked about this not being a game of speed, even though James Cook is going bonanza out there. But then this being a game of power and strength. When you think of power and strength, you're thinking of the run game, but you're also thinking of those big bodies. Hollins reels in a touchdown for the Bills as the second quarter gets ready to come to a close, and then a big connection between Allen and Dawson Knox. So I'm expecting probably more connections between Knox and Allen. Now, Knox's receiving number is sitting at 40.5. That adjusted up and then came back down just a little bit. I like the 40.5. Then you're looking at the rush prop for Josh Allen sitting at 21.5. That went from 29, came down to 21.5. I also like that because we're relying on the ground game for both teams here. Once you get into that third, fourth quarter on the other side of the halftime, we know Josh Allen will use his legs a little bit more, especially if the connections aren't coming for Shakir as well as Amari Cooper. We saw him try to make connections with them in the first half. Some of them successful, some of them not. His completion rate was sitting at 83.3% considering the crazy snow that's going on. Then when it comes to James Cook and him cooking up on the Niners defense, you had his prop sitting at 37.5 at the top of the second quarter. This is the one that blows my mind, but it's fascinating because all it takes is one big play. One of the longest plays of his career, by the way, a 65-yard touchdown, helping light things up for this Bills offense. Obviously pushed his numbers up, but it only pushed it up to 108 originally. And then, of course, as plays started coming along, you saw that he was sitting at 100-plus rushing yards, 101, I think, to be more specific. And then it jumped up to 140, came back down to 139.5. So I think James Cook can continue to be one of the most impactful pieces for this Bills team. If it's not broke, don't fix it. James Cook is not broke. He is just cooking. Then I talked about Knox already. Something else to take a look at. There was a couple of times where you saw Josh Allen looking over at Cook to pick up a nice quick play. Then we saw a good connection of him pitching the ball over to Cook. I think that his receptions originally were sitting at just 1.5, but you're now seeing 2+ receptions at minus 114. 3+ receptions for James Cook is sitting at plus 390. So as Allen is now relying on him and you're seeing the trust established and you're seeing who his go-to key player is going to be for this game, for the most part, I can see him just switching up from handing the ball off for those rushes as well as giving him those over-the-top pitches to get downfield, and it worked out beautifully as well. A nice disguise for the Bills to use moving forward. When it comes to the end zone, beforehand, I was also talking about them sitting with the theme of using those big bodies in the end zone. Hollins helped out beforehand. I think Knox can now help out in the second half. Yeah, it's pretty wild. His touchdown was sitting at 11-1 odds, but if we're going to the tight ends, then for the most part, Knox can help alleviate in that sense as well. So I see him getting a lot more receptions. I see him getting more yardage, but I also probably see him getting in the end zone. As for the Niners, the one person that I was talking about potentially getting in the end zone if they can get things going on their third down conversions is going to be Mason. We've seen who he is. We've seen the workhorse he becomes for the Niners when Christian McCaffrey is not in the lineup. McCaffrey looked like he was way uncomfortable when he headed off to the sideline. He tried to execute a few movements, working on that lower body injury, working on his Achilles, but for the most part, he still had to go down to the locker room during the second quarter and looked extremely frustrated when that decision was made. So medical doing further review, no updates quite yet saying whether he's questionable or not going to return into the matchup, but for the most part, I would stick with looking at Mason. What's a little frustrating, though, is I'm not seeing any updated rushing props or numbers when it comes to Mason. Before halftime, he was sitting at 51 rushing yards. So earlier, you saw a number of these props just sitting extremely low, even the running backs knowing that this is potentially going to be more of a run-heavy game. If his numbers, if you see them anywhere else, were sitting anywhere at 30, 40, or went up to that 50 since he's sitting at 51 rushing yards, then Mason's the guy that I would look to probably grab it over when it comes to helping out Brock Purdy and his team get down the field. I'd love to see George Kittle get more involved, and no, that's not on the bias that I love tight ends and I'm excited whenever tight ends get involved. It's for the fact that he's got one reception, I think, for 7 receiving yards, helping pick up some blocks, but they're going to need him and they're going to need the mismatch so that they can start getting some things working. Their defense cannot be the only ones helping out in this game, especially if there's going to be any more bang-ups. I'm going to be intrigued to see if Warren does return on the other side of halftime. He did come back in that second quarter, but he still looked a little hesitant. He was impactful when he came in, but he still looked uncomfortable. So it takes one bad tackle, especially on snow, for that to be something that they don't want to risk, and they end up moving out to the sideline and moving on from Warren for the rest of this game. Brock Purdy was sitting pretty low, under 30 passing yards. If the snow lightens up a little bit, I'm sure they're going to try to go for it in a number of ways. That's where he gets his targets more involved. Deebo Samuel being that top guy. Again, his prop only sitting right there on the cusp of 40.5. At max 42.5 is where almost all the receivers and tight ends were sitting in this top of the second quarter. Deebo Samuel is probably a guy that you're going to want to touch the over on because he's got to get involved in this game to help out Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's going to try to speed up his time of release because getting hit is an unfavorable option for a quarterback who's wrapped up and been banged up throughout the season. And then George Kittle's got to be that other reliever there. But I hope we see some props for Mason. In case you missed it, 18.5 on the spread at the 44.5 when it comes to the total. Josh Allen rush prop sitting at 21.5. I like the Cook 139.5, like the over on that, and then Knox 40.5, like the over on that. Not going to touch anything when it comes to the spread because these games can get pretty messy and crazy, and we've seen the Niners kind of have some big comebacks in the fourth quarter more so. Their defense is playing extremely well. We've seen them kind of queuing on a lot of big plays, and they shake things up when it comes to their third down management, but for the most part, the Bills just look like the most composed team, playing the most simple football, weathering the storm that is this chaotic snow at the time, and on top of it, they've been throughout this season. So make sure you stick with us here on SportsGrid as we continue to bring you all odds, lines, angles, and coverage for Sunday Night Football. Niners trying to get a past 5 wins and collect that 6th win of the season while the Bills continue to try to show and stride for perfection. I'll catch you guys for the post-game show with Tom Vecchio to break down much more. Follow SportsGrid over at SportsGrid, and I'll catch you guys later live.
it's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was protected! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Tatum has fixed that hitch. He now shoots it at the top of his jump. His release is really pure. And right now he's shooting it at 49% from three. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot at 49% from three for the season. But if he's at 42.3%, Lord have mercy, look out below. Jason Tatum, right now, my number 6 player in the NBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Are you okay with him moving to the head of the class of the Heisman with those two games? Because he wasn't even in the discussion before those two games.
This is a big opportunity for Dylan if he wants to continue to make his case for the Heisman Trophy, and I think he's shown that. What is he, a 6th-tier player who's going to probably end up setting most of the passing marks because he's been around for so long? So why not also throw a Heisman Trophy in the mix?
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on
In-game live game day continues. So we had a big return to start the second half. I am Gabriel Morency. Welcome back to the program. Thanks to Casey Hudson. She'll take over once again once the game is done with the post-game show. So the second half has started. In San Francisco, we're moving the ball, but Juszczyk just fumbled the ball on the goal line, and he didn't go all the way. But, wow, a nightmare scenario for the San Francisco 49ers. And kind of, you know what? I got the over this game, so I wasn't even too upset that they were about to score a touchdown. And I was hoping, all right, take it all the way back for a touchdown. The Bills' defense is balling. They popped the ball loose literally on like the 1 or 2 yard line. San Francisco was literally on the goal line about to score. They popped the ball loose. They just returned it to about the San Francisco 40-yard line or so. Hard to tell with all the snow on the field, but give or take. Give or take. All right, let's bring in a man who said, since it was the Bills game tonight, like Bills Mafia, he said, should I come in like with my shirt off, maybe paint my chest blue or something like that? I said, no nudity, especially from you. Very, very few guests we would accept nudity. You're not one of them. Sean Higgs in the house. What's up, Sean?
There is a sect of people who probably want to see me nude.
Yeah, there's always freaks that like something out there, but that's besides the point.
We gotta bring back the mental institutions. I'd be rolling in dough, Gabe. I'd be great.
So big turnover right there. Man,
yes.
You know what I mean? For San, especially if you have San Francisco, you want a puncher's chance. They move, but they get a big return. They got like a 50, 60-yard return. Then they move the ball to the goal line. Juszczyk fumbles the ball. Buffalo picks it up and returns it. In-game total is 44.5 right now. Buffalo are laying 21.5. I got Buffalo plus 3.5 to close out a 10-point teaser. I laid the points with Buffalo. I played the over in the game, and then I played an in-game over in the game. So I want points in this game. That's why I was like, I don't even care if San Francisco scores. I want points. But Buffalo did get the big return there. Who are you on in this game?
I got them tied in a couple like teasers, teased down to like 1 there. So I need Buffalo straight up to go. But I did a couple in-game, or not in-game, but prop-wise, I had rushing for Allen over 7.5. Cook was 15.5. Completions for Allen over 19. under for Purdy's 31.5. Knox 25.5 yards. Shakir 55. And I had a couple of Shakir's 50, 60, 70. Kind of little plus monies, which he's not getting a ball. But I got a Knox at 40 at plus 225, which he needs one more catch there. I hit at any time on Cook touchdown. So nothing at halftime and then come back in. I got him tied up enough where I just need him to win, so I'm just be happy with that. I'm not going to get greedy. Although I would have laid 18.5 at halftime with him. I didn't think New England, San Fran would score more than 10 in the second half. Anyway, I think these guys are going to go to the 34 spot. I think they scored 2 touchdowns here.
Well, I tell you what, they were about to, and then they just fumbled. Unbelievable. Yeah. No McCaffrey in the football game, but you don't expect Juszczyk to fumble the football like that. We'll see if Buffalo can capitalize on this and score a quick touchdown and keep this total rolling. San Francisco won't quit. There's too much time left in the game for them to tap out right now, but Buffalo are really breaking their wills here, and things are not going San Francisco's way tonight. It's been one of those years for them. So as we stated, guys, point spread's 21.5 right now. If you believe in a miracle comeback, I don't think it's enough. 18-1 plus 1,800. They got to give you better than that. They're down by 18, and you're getting plus 1,800 San Francisco. Buffalo are 150-1 on the money line right now. They're at the 50-yard line, actually. But Cook is carving them up. Every time Cook carries the ball, he gets a big chunk. He just picked up about 7 or 8 on first down. So
everybody wants to run to and under the snow. I don't know why. Snow isn't over. It's, guys slip.
Well, that's why. I bet the over this game. Before the game, I said, bring on the bad weather. Bad weather leads to overs, right? Yeah. It leads to fumbles, chaos. The offense knows where they're going. Now, that sucked. I don't want to give up the touchdown on the goal line like that, but it is what it is. Like I said, to see if Buffalo can cash in here. But, yeah, weather, especially snow. If it's really, like, windy and crazy pouring rain sideways and stuff like that and windy. But when it's just snowing like this, it's not even that cold there right now, Sean. It's 30 degrees. It's football weather.
It's nice. You love the guys with no sleeves on, right? Just got the short sleeve. I
would wear a sleeve personally.
We played in the snow. There's no fun getting like snow all over your arm.
I'm wearing sleeves inside, but it's not going to keep you warm anyways. It's mind over matter, but I would wear a sleeve. We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the 2 big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
Well, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little bit of a frustrating start to the second half. San Francisco are about to give us quick points, and the total's bouncing up there. It's looking really good for the over. Juszczyk fumbles. Buffalo run it to midfield. They get into a 4th and 2. Josh Allen wanted to go for it. You could tell he didn't want to leave the field, and him and McDermott were going back and forth. McDermott's the coach, won the battle. Buffalo Bills punt the ball. And they did down the ball on the 5-yard line. So San Francisco going to be getting the ball back right now. Down 21-3. They're still in this game. They still have a puncher's chance. You guys know the plays that I played before the game. I jumped in on a lot of these wide receiver props of San Francisco because they were all so low, but nothing is really happening. I got George Kittle over 3.5. Kittle's got 1 catch. I got Juwan Jennings with over 4.5. He's got 2 catches. I didn't bet Samuel before the game. I thought I did. I didn't, but I did bet him at the half, guys, and it's the same number right now, 5.5. So you can get +5, plus 115, 5.5. Samuel's already got 3, so he needs 3 catches in the second half. I think he'll get this. San Francisco have been terrible. They have to put another drive together here and start completing a couple of passes. There's, you know what? I was going to say there's a completion, but Jennings dropped it.
Nope.
San Francisco's players are falling apart here in the snow, bro. They showed a stat, too, guys, earlier. San Francisco's wide receivers tonight, guys, are running their routes at 11.8 miles per hour. It's the slowest this year in the National Football League. That's the one thing when you get into weather like this. Some teams deal with it well, some teams don't, and it's pretty clear that the San Francisco 49er wide receivers are not. Like, you notice they're not really getting open, like, at all. I know Buffalo's secondary is pretty good, but they're just slow in the snow, these guys. Like, Jennings was barely open on that play. Now they just hand the football off. I tell you what, guys, Buffalo might be getting the ball back here in pretty good field position. So I wanted to get to some college football. We will with Sean, because Sean's already got some picks in. But let me ask you about tomorrow night's game. What do you think about the Broncos and the Browns? We're asking all of our guests. Kind of got different opinions on this game so far from everybody. It's 6 points right now. Do you think the Broncos should be laying 6 to the Browns?
I haven't moved on it. It didn't stick out to me a week and a half ago, and even today, it's like maybe an over. 40.5 looks a little low. I know Cleveland's. You get 42. Up and down from. It's 42. Oh, all right, 42 now. Okay, I thought it said 40. Well, I'd still go over. I still think it's an over game. I know Denver's defense has been good. Cleveland's been bad just overall. Knicks has been pretty good lately. I mean, he's improved. Listen, from game 1 to now, I know Daniels is probably going to lock up that rookie of the year, but this guy gets in the playoffs. I mean, he should probably get a little look. His numbers are not terrible. And again, give me, if I got to take something, I haven't. I hate not having some, but I like the over, but that's about it. Maybe, and I would lean the dog too as well. Right? Looks easy. Take Denver at home, win by a touchdown, easy peasy. But dog in the over for me here.
George Kittle just dropped the pass. San Francisco are just terrible. Like they can't do anything right. They can't, like, seriously. And it's not even Brock Purdy's fault. Brock Purdy threw a perfect pass to Jennings. He drops the ball. He just throws the ball to Kittle. Kittle drops the ball. And the thing is, guys, Kittle played at Iowa. You know what I mean? Sean, the guy's an Iowa Hawkeye. He's from Iowa.
You had said, like,
he's dropping balls.
They're running 11-mile-an-hour routes. They're not playing that well in the snow. But they're 5-6 for a reason, Gabe. I mean, I know
they weren't playing that well on the grass before either. They weren't playing that well on the grass.
Exactly. These are like the Jets. Like, they have been favored until last week, favored in every single game. Like the Jets, favored again today. They're just priced as they're a 10-2 team and not a 5-6 team. It's next week against the Bears. Listen, the Bears fans, if they're watching, I took some Bears plus 6.5 next week. Give me the Bears. Fire the coach.
Oh, even you with the new coach, huh? So, yeah, you happy, Higgs? You got the coach fired. Your hatred.
No, I'm not happy. I'm telling you what, my 5 to 7 might go down the drain now.
Those Bears, though, hey, they covered the number, showed a lot of heart, man. Caleb Williams balling out. I mean, yeah, it was a catastrophe the last play of the game. The coach should have called timeout. But, man, they've lost. Like, yeah, you know what? You were right. They're not going to get there with their win total, and you're going to invert people coming at you. You win. Now they'll all disappear, though. They won't all say, oh, you were right. But we'll tell you were right. But, man, things could have been different for this football team. They really should have won like 3 more games, this team.
Yeah, well, but like I said, like I always bring up, like the Hail Mary game, that's just a bad one to go down. But you won a game 2 in week 1 where you shouldn't have won that game. So that's 2 games off the cuff. Last week's game, I thought you should have won last week. I don't hate them going for the end zone, but you should have called the timeout. You know, the block field goal game, tough losses. That's not the coach, but the bonehead plays are the coach. Now though they get rid of this guy. I won't be shocked if they win a couple here. Like, do you feel confident that the Niners, forget about covering the 6, are you confident the Niners even win next week at home? Would you lay? Are you going to lay?
No, I wouldn't lay the points.
I bet would you lay a money line with them? No.
I would stay away. Or I would take the Bears plus the points. For the record, let me see. We'll get a number up for this game. I'm looking right now. One place has it locked off the board. I'm sure we could find a quick number for this one. So the Bears and 49ers next week in San Francisco. Surprisingly enough, no number. I don't see it yet. I could keep searching, but whatever. I just looked at 2 big-time books, and neither of them have it up yet. For the record, the in-game total, 43.5. The Bills get the ball, so San Francisco punted. They 3 and out from their 5. Now Ray Davis from Kentucky's back in, man. This guy has really run the ball hard when he gets on the field. He just popped one for 10 or 15 yards for the Buffalo Bills. So there's a little under 9 minutes remaining. Buffalo are on the verge of really blowing this game open, 21-3. The last drive stalled for the Bills, though. We'll see if they can finish this off with a touchdown with this one. 43.5, 21.5 is the number right now. I do have a number, Sean, for the Thursday night game, Detroit and Green Bay. So the Lions just didn't cover against the Bears, laying that big number, laying the 10. Now they lay 3.5 to the Packers. You think this number is going to go up? So we were talking earlier, some of our guests thought this number would be higher if you like the Lions.
And it was a 5.5er, and then it was a 3.5er after their terrible Thursday day game, and then it went back up after the Green Bay win. So do I think it'll pop up a little bit? I don't know. I mean, they're home, but they both played on Thursday. They're both rested up. You know, it's not like some teams coming in with the edge. It's not like Green Bay's going to be like, oh, these guys we're going to look past them. Detroit's not looking past them. They nearly lost, and they came off another home game before that on Sunday. So I really thought they'd take it to the Bears last week. I thought that was going to be a spot where they come in and roll them. I would have liked Green Bay more if the Bears would have had a 10 to 20 point win there. I like Green Bay a little bit, but I want to see where this goes. I'm tough to go against the Lions. I've said from the beginning they were my favorite team this season. So 3.5 at home, it's one of those where I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be fall for that hook. If it's 3.5, they're going to win 31-24 or something and cover that 3.5.
I think we should all bet it now. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills versus the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. That's how I think it's going to play out. Bills, Eagles, or impressive
for them.
The thing with the Eagles is a lot of their wins, and I was one of the critics, and everyone, I wasn't alone, that said, yeah, you know what, they beat people, but they never play anybody. Like, the Eagles have an easy schedule all the time, it seems. Oh, God, Josh nearly throws a pick. You know what, just a bad play call on 3rd and 2. Like, it's 3rd and 2, the Bills just sort of get casual. Josh casually just sort of loops it down the field. I don't know if they're planning on going for it, and that's their plan. Looks like that's the case, if they're not sending the field goal unit out here right now. Just run the ball with Josh. You know, do the brotherly shove, tush-push thing, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Run a QB sneak. You can pick this up with Josh Allen. He's big. So, yeah, the Bills are going for it. I guess it is kind of a longer field goal. They're going for it right now on 4th and 2. This first quarter, a lot of spinning wheels.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Touchdowns you're ever going to see. I guess that's like a Travis Kelce move or whatever, but the combination of the snow, Josh Allen diving through the air. Guys, so the Bills are like pinned in. It's like 5-yard line or, you know what I mean? Josh Allen throws a terrible pass behind Amari Cooper. Cooper, like a 3-yard quick hit. It's way behind Cooper. Cooper, like, one-hands it, like, behind his body. Like, hey, I caught it. He's going down. He sees Josh Allen is, like, right near him. He pitches the ball to Josh Allen, who runs it into the end zone.
Throw it to me. I'm open.
You see that? That's some. You know what? That's playing like you're a kid in the snow, like we used to play.
I was going to say that's
yeah. You're going down. You're like, oh yeah, dive in the snowbank. You know what I mean?
Just flick it. Like, how many times do you yell that when you're seeing the TV? Like, just flick it to the guy behind you. You're going to run it in.
Wow. There's the Allen TD. If anyone had been the Josh Allen TD prop, it gets there. It wasn't easy, but it gets there.
Buffalo team total over gets there. There you go. You got your team total over.
Yes, sir. Buffalo Bills, baby. We talked about it before the game started, guys. Buffalo Bills, 9-1 to the over the last 10 on their team totals. It varied from book to book. It was 25.5, but Sean, I pushed my luck, and you like this. You do this often. I didn't want to lay like minus 134 or whatever for the 25.5, so I played over 27.5 plus 105 instead, and I just hit it.
Yeah. Why? Because you think they're going to score 4 touchdowns. Why not?
Yeah, 26, not a key number, right? 25.5. I was like, 20, that's might as well go to 28 at the plus 105. So, boom. And Josh Allen, anytime touchdown score, plus 110 just hit. Cash that as well. That was some wild stuff. That was a fun play. In-game total now 45.5. So we're at 31 right now and the total was 44.5 when it closed, guys. So 2 touchdowns for the over, and you got to hope they don't miss the extra points. We still have 6 minutes left in the third quarter and a full fourth quarter to go.
Let me ask you something. How is that graded? Is that graded a rushing attempt for him, or it's a reception? I pulled up ESPN. They have it as a 7-yard pass catch and a touchdown, not a rushing attempt.
You know what? It was behind, though. It should have been a rushing touchdown, in my opinion.
All right? Because that
should be a rushing.
That will not count for a rushing touchdown because that's considered a pass.
I guess
ESPN has it under the passing.
The ball didn't hit the ground, I guess.
It's a pass.
Because it started as a pass.
Man.
And then,
people are going to freak out on the X. They'll be like, I want my refund. Bad beat refund.
No, but he scored a touchdown either way. It doesn't matter whether he caught the touchdown or rushed the touchdown.
No. Like I thought, okay, yes, no, because if he has to Well, for reception, that's right. I'm thinking the passing touchdown doesn't count as an anytime touchdown for him.
Yeah, anytime touchdown score. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's not a touchdown pass for him.
Yeah, it's a received pass for him.
It's a receive. No, I think it's a handoff for him.
I'm just saying.
You know what?
ESPN,
No, it would be a reception. Yeah, it wouldn't count as his rush yards. You're right. It wouldn't count as his rush yards.
It's a reception.
It'd be receiving yards. Receiving yards, eh? All right, look at this. San Francisco get another big return. God, man, if they could just pop one, it would really help. Samuel just returned it again to like the 50 or something. So there's a big spark here. All right, what happened with the in-game total here right now? Let me just pop this up. In-game total. This is a weird prop game, guys. The flow of this game is weird. Everything's weird. It's 46.5 right now, and the Bills are now laying 24.5, 25.5. It just moved to, and 45.5. All right, so a number I see right now, Sean, Alabama. Will Alabama make the playoffs? Minus 115. Now, listen, I don't think Alabama are worthy of making the playoffs, and I think this 12-team playoff thing's a joke. It was better with 4 teams. Like, what are we doing here with 3 lost teams and stuff? But this is what you wanted. So here we go. But with that being stated, I think Alabama are going to end up getting in. Dude, the SEC and the Big Ten run that committee. And Greg Sankey, the commissioner, he's the commissioner of the SEC. He's like the big Don of college football, along with the Big Ten. They're like a mafia family, like the right-hand man, like the both of them. Alabama, they're going to squeeze these guys in. So whether it's right or wrong, I might as well bet on it and get in on it at minus 115. And I say, yes, they get in. What do you think? Do you think they get in, or do you think they deserve to get in?
I don't think they're 8-3. They shouldn't get in. They're in 4th place. So, no, they shouldn't get in. Absolutely not. But they're going to get in because they're Alabama, and the way they're ranked in that AP poll, they're playing Friday night against Notre Dame. That's who they're playing. They're playing in Notre Dame for Friday.
Yeah, you see that they're ranked 12th in the AP poll. That was almost the signal. It's like, yeah, they're going to squeeze them in. And you look at the teams. Miami, listen, you guys losing opened the door for them. Sean's a Miami fan. If the Canes don't lose this game, you know what I mean? You have too long. It changes things a bit.
Here's the thing. This is just prime and dandy for them to go from 12 teams to 16 and then up to 24. Like, oh, why did they get in and not South Carolina?
Well, that's another thing, too. South Carolina's actually got a little bit of an argument. A lot of people do, though. And as you stated, it never ends. And for the record, they've already agreed to it. They're only doing 12 teams for 2 years. So the TV contract is for 2 years. And then they were like, we'll adapt, and we're going to go to 16. So, and as I said the same thing, Sean, they'll go to 16, and then whatever, dude. 8 years from now, there'll be 24 or 32 teams, you know?
And make no mistake, they thought this year was going to be Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss. Like, they thought they were getting what they wanted.
Yeah, no, they created this. I said this, Sean. They invented this playoffs for the Penn States and the Ole Misses of the world. So instead of Ole Miss, bro, it was Tennessee, Penn State gets in. Right, and Indiana instead of Michigan down this year, so Indiana sort of takes that other Big Ten slot. You know what I'm saying? But if Michigan were 9-3, they would get into. You know what I mean? I'm a Michigan fan, but it's politics, and Michigan are bigwigs too. It's the way it works. You know how college football is.
It was always supposed to be 10 teams from the SEC and Big Ten, and then an ACC and a Big 12 team.
That's why they made no limit, guys. They could have said, no, you can only have 2. They were like, no. We're not making some rule where we're going to limit SEC or Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was
that's what
looking
your
down
grandma
and did
does,
not
right?
know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we have a touchdown board. I think that was our first touchdown during a commercial break. We had field goals during the break tonight. There's always touchdowns during the commercial breaks. Garendo with the touchdown. Who? That's Eddie Garendo Jr., the wrestler, Eddie Guerrero. Like Eddie Garendo. Like Garendo, like Sean said, who is this? One of the backup running backs. Like, yeah. Like Garendo comes in here, caught a little screenplay and popped it for a touchdown. Yeah, nobody had that touchdown score prop. I don't know. Maybe somebody did. We'll see on Twitter. Somebody they'll post it. Oh, look, I cashed it. But who the hell had that? 50
his
to
family,
1,
somebody in his family, maybe. A family
his
member.
Family probably thought he wouldn't play. No, his family. No, he never plays. He never plays. He's not gonna. So
they're not watching the game tonight.
Yeah, no. This is good though because obviously whatever gives us points. But we got the over. Remember, we got the over 44.5, the over 42.5 in game. Actually got a 43. We're up to 38 right now, but this keeps San Francisco's interest in the game, and this makes Buffalo unable to just sort of go on cruise control and start having fun in the snow. They're like, all right, you know what? San Francisco aren't quitting. They are the 49ers. We can't just stop trying here. So now, let's see what Buffalo does. But in-game total, 51.5 now, Sean.
All right. This is what I think is happening. I think we're going to see like a 2-series drive, get through the end of the third quarter. They punt the start of the fourth. San Fran probably puts something together, makes it interesting, 28-17. And then all of a sudden, it starts getting interesting. Like, can they get a field goal to go up 31-17? Is it going to be like land on that?
Yeah.
That line's going to come in. That 6.5, depending when you got down, is going to come into play a little bit here, I think. I don't
If you're Buffalo,
as much as they've,
I'd want to be aggressive if I was there, Sean. Yeah, I would try to, if I was Buffalo, I'd be like, you know what? Let's put another touchdown on the board and like knock these guys back down and let them know. No, you're not coming back.
Listen, if they watch other teams play, you see teams come back on other teams. I mean, the last week it was Thursday, but I think the Lions game was 16-0. You're thinking it should be 27-0. They're not playing too well. You're just kind of ho-humming.
Right.
Next thing you know, you're in a battle at the end of the game. You should have probably lost.
Yeah, you look at that line game, 16-0. It's all changed when Gibbs fumbled the ball. It would have been 23-0. Instead, boom. Yeah. It's always these little plays here and there.
You're kicking field goals. You're kicking field goals at home. You don't want to do that. Like, I mean,
and plus football guys, it's contagious. You see already, like the San Francisco 49er defense are a little bit more fired up right now after the play. Before they were kind of drifting a bit. Now they're a little bit more engaged. All right, let's get a stop and see if we can score again right now. So we still have a game going on. Like Sean said, the Buffalo minus the 6 isn't in the bank yet. This is the NFL, not for long. Right? You don't have your job for long, and you're not covering for long. Not for long.
You had a 14-point swing there on that fumble, basically, right? I mean, they come in, they fumble, then they get a crazy touchdown on a flea flicker nonsense here. I mean, you got to think, all right, we're losing, but we were right there. Put 7 on the board for us. It's 28-17, and we had the ball or something.
Yeah, with a full quarter to go. All right, so we were talking about college football, and we're kind of in agreement. I think Alabama is going to end up getting into the playoffs. It seems to be the consensus. And, guys, it was ridiculous. Like plus 115 before. On Saturday night, it was plus 115. Now it's minus 115 because everybody in the world believes it, right? I haven't seen anybody that doesn't, and we talked about it. Dude, they're gonna let in the ACC winner, barely, begrudgingly, right? They'll be like, yeah, all right, you guys are in, one of you. And
seriously, and what is it? Oh, if Clemson pulls out, and they started out as a favorite, flip to a dog. If Clemson wins, they'll be like, wait, didn't we see this in week 1 and Georgia beat you 30-2 or whatever they did? Right? They're gonna be like, why is this team in here?
I think they hope that SMU wins just so it's less controversy and just whatever.
Yeah.
SMU beats them, gets in, no one can say anything.
Yeah. If they roll SMU, they're like, hey, this team's out of the American Conference, not the AAC. They'll it'll be whatever. They should beat that team by 20.
Well, then it's going to get into then Dabo's going to bitch the most if he gets left out because he bitches all the time. Right? Then you're going to have a 9-3 Clemson team against an Alabama team, 8-3. Like, there's going to be a lot of sort of stuff. But the Big 12 winner will get in, right? So Arizona State or Iowa State, I think, are going to get in. They both played really good football. They're not going to screw over the Big 12 and say, no, your conference championship doesn't matter. They're going to lower seed them. They're going to make them go on the road. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, well, I guess, I don't know how the bye works, right? So I guess they can choose. You get the bye whether you deserve it or not, really. We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was looking down and did not know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid, Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
In-game total, 48.5 as we go into the fourth quarter right now. I am Gabriel Morency. All right, George Kurtz is going to join us in a moment. Time just flew by with Sean Higgs. We'll get Sean's college football. We were talking about the college football playoff and stuff. I'll ask you, Sean, quickly, who do you think wins it all? And it's kind of square me to say this, but I do think the Ducks are going to win it all right now. They're the team I actually trust the most. They are the best team in football, in my opinion. I think Texas are very dangerous as well. I think Texas are good enough on, like, their offenses, will have these droughts, right? And yours is good, but then, they have these scoring droughts, but their defense is elite. Sarkisian's a top-tier coach. They made it to the playoffs last year, bro. They were in the Final Four. They were super close. They lost to Washington. They're knocking on the door of this program, Texas. So I'll go Texas and Oregon as the teams to beat. I don't trust all those SEC teams. Besides, Texas or SEC now, but like Georgia, their defense isn't great. Their offense turns the ball over a lot. They were freaking lucky to beat Georgia Tech. Alabama are going to get into the playoffs. But Georgia's number, I'll get you. They're like the third choice.
Are they?
No, it's lower than that. They're the third choice. It's Oregon are plus 350. Texas are plus 425. Ohio State are plus 450. Georgia are plus 450. Notre Dame, who are actually damn good guys. Notre Dame are good. Notre Dame are 9-1. Penn State are frauds at 10-1. Tennessee can beat anybody, but Tennessee can lose to anybody. Tennessee are 16-1. Alabama, whatever. Alabama, you're going to play a high-scoring game with them, and it'll be a track meet, and whoever has the ball last wins when you play them. SMU are 30-1, Sean. Indiana 40, Clemson 40. Alabama's 20-1 to win it all.
I would do Alabama and Indiana. No one's giving Indiana a shot. And Alabama, the fact that they're even in it, like you said, they could be in a track meet.
Well, I don't think Alabama are great, but that is true, though. You know what I mean? You play them, they're going to score. So they'll give up points, but you're going to be in a 40-40 game with them with 5 minutes left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would do Bama and Indiana. Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame's a really good team, but until they beat
all right, hold on. Did Purdy?
They get rolled out in the playoffs all the time.
Purdy just turned it over. It was one of those. Was it a complete pass or was it a fumble? But it's a fumble. It's Buffalo ball. Let's see. He's going with the ball here. That's not a forward pass. The ball slipped out of his hands. That's a fumble.
That's another touchdown coming Buffalo's way.
Yeah, they're close, right? They're close. So what are we at now? We're at 38. I'm just thinking for the worst here. They got a field goal. All right, that's 41. We're still off the number a little bit. We still need another score. It's always this way whenever George Kurtz.
They're going to get a field goal with 2.5 minutes into the quarter, so you could still get a touchdown somewhere else.
Yeah, no, there's time, but I like. Yeah, you're right. We still need points, right? We're at need a touchdown. Just need one touchdown.
I'm with you. I want a touchdown right now. Let's get it done early and move on.
Yeah, one run here. Right now. One run. All right, so before we get you out of here, and we'll bring Kurtz in the next segment, before we get Sean out of here, these college football games, we talked about making the playoffs and the future numbers, but as far as the title games are concerned, Tulane at Army. Army are 4-point home underdogs. The game is at Army. The total is 47.5. UNLV are at Boise State, so not a neutral field, at Boise State. And Boise are 3.5-point favorites. Total's 58.5. Iowa State and Arizona State are playing at Jerry's World, Cowboy Stadium. ASU are smoking hot. Iowa State are a good football team, better than people realize. I think either one of these teams do belong. They deserve a spot in the playoffs. Loser won't get in, but winner will, obviously, with the automatic bid. 51 is the total. The MAC championship, Ohio and Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio want this thing bad. It's minus 2.5, 44.5. Georgia are 3-point favorites against Texas in Atlanta. Marshall and Lafayette, UL Lafayette, they're minus 4 against Marshall. Clemson and SMU, that's another home game, right? Clemson, SMU, neutral field in Charlotte, SMU, minus 2.5, total 55.5. And finally, in closing, both of the Clemson SMU game is Saturday at 8 o'clock, and so is the Penn State Oregon game, Saturday 8 o'clock. That game's in Indianapolis. The Ducks Only undefeated team left, the Ducks, minus 3.5-point favorites against Penn State, 49.5. What did you bet on, Sean?
But we'll work them backwards. Give me under the Oregon game here, 49.5. I like this smooth there, minus the 2. UL Laffy, 4.5. I took Texas money line, minus 135. Miami and Ohio, I didn't bet that one. I got Arizona State money line, 135. I took UNLV when it was 4.5. Still like them at 3.5. I'm taking 4.5. I think they got a shot to win the game. Nothing on a Western game, and I kind of like Tulane a little bit there, even though I want to see Army do well, but I think Tulane's a little too much offense for the Black Knights.
Yeah, they were flat against Memphis, but it doesn't mean they won't bounce back in this spot playing for a conference championship. The Georgia-Texas one is interesting. I don't think that much of Georgia. I think Georgia are beatable. I think Texas are going to beat them.
I think, listen, you lost them at home by, 15? And Beck, we were talking about Beck having a bad year. The guy threw 2 or 3 interceptions in that game. Well, again, I got Texas. If Georgia beats these guys by double digits again, Georgia's a good team. I know Beck's been terrible, probably passed himself right out of the first 2 rounds of the draft, but 4-1, definitely not worth a shot. But it's scary going against Georgia. They're still good, Gabe. Come on.
They are good.
You go to Texas, win by 10. That's the only good team Texas played. You want to talk about A&M? A&M lost at home to Notre Dame when there was the 2 offensive linemen. How good is A&M?
That's a fair criticism of the Texas Longhorns. All right, we got a 2nd and goal coming up here for the Buffalo Bills. Dawson Knox did catch a ball. It looks like Josh Allen's going to score another touchdown.
Yep.
Josh Allen
now we got our
rushes it in.
Rushing touchdown. Official rushing touchdown.
Yeah, there you go. There's the official. We don't have to get confused about the stats of it all. And now it's officially a rout. It wasn't a rout, but now the beat down's on. If you're San Francisco, you look at the scoreboard and the clock going, all right, we're kind of screwed. Like, there's 12 minutes left. We're down by 25. They'll roll on another drive here. Yeah, they got another drive left in them. But we hit the over, guys. I told you guys before the game started, over 44.5. Don't be scared of the bad weather, homie. Don't be scared, homie. Don't be scared of the bad weather. And a lot of time left, too. And it went down, Sean. Yeah. It was 42.5 in-game. And I said, you know what? I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm taking the over again. This game's going to get there. And it does.
And it did. It did.
All right.
So got there sooner, so Niners didn't fumble.
Thanks for Thanks for not taking your shirt off and doing this topless. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, Twitter on the X World at Mr. Sean Higgs and whatever. Winning free picks, gamblersworld.net. Pick the I'm all over. I'm like a Bills Mafia guy. We're just enormous and we're just jumping all over things. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, they are. Bills Mafia are everywhere. They take everywhere over and they're jumping over and breaking tables. Sean Higgs, and maybe next time we talk, Sean. Not yet. I think we're probably, it's December 1st today? I think today is officially December 1st. So
it is.
Today's officially December 1st. I'll say that Soto is signed in less than 2 weeks. 2 weeks' time.
I know Kurt's
December 15th or something like that.
And Kurt, as a Yankee fan, got to be saying the same thing. The fact that they said, well, we gotta re-up you're the Yankee. You got to re-up your ante to him. You're the Yankee. You should be setting the bar. You shouldn't be going back with another offer. You are the offer. You're the Yankees. How do you have to up your ante and up your bid? Just terrible. The old man's rolling over in his grave right now.
I don't think Cashman really wants to sign him. I think Cashman would rather sign a bunch of players, which is smart, but will he sign the right players?
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Totally, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was
that's what your
looking down
grandma
and did
does,
not
right?
know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma would do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The onslaught continues in Western New York right now, as it's just one mistake after another for the San Francisco 49ers, and everybody's making them. And, as I said earlier, it's bizarro world. Brock Purdy played at Iowa State. Brock Purdy played in snow. He's played in bad weather. George Kittle played at Iowa. George Kittle is from Iowa, right? Also grew up, played in bad weather before. But as a whole, collectively, the Niners have not handled this well at all. And that's an understatement. Like, if this is the Miami Dolphins, people will be like, oh, my God, look at, they're in the snow. Dude, they can't complete a pass. They can't do anything without fumbling the ball. They've turned it over, I don't know how many times, hard to keep up. Purdy turned it over on the last drive, trying to throw the ball, just slipped out of his hand. They just fumbled the kickoff right now, and Buffalo get the ball back. There was a penalty on the play, but Buffalo are getting the ball back. The game has already gone over the number. Barely, but it's gotten there. And normally when George Kurtz joins us at this time, I'm sweating it out, George, and I'm like, damn, I need one more touchdown. I need one more of this. We always need more, a lot of things, but I needed one more. I had I played the over before the game started, and I played in-game over 42.5. And we were sort of stuck at that 38. I was worried about getting a field goal and being at 41, and then you coming on and me crying about needing one more. But the over gets there, Kurtz. And did you play the over of this game, or did you get scared off by the bad weather?
Got scared off. I didn't play the under, but I left it alone here. That being said, I'm on the San Fran team total under, so I'd like to see them not score again. I think I can afford one score, but not two. So, and I don't know if they're going to score anyway. But it's been a good game. I mean, as far as betting's concerned here. Cook got the touchdown. Josh Allen. You know what? I thought it would be a lucky night here because Josh Allen got that little lateral touchdown from Cooper, and then he ran one in anyway, so I would have had it anyway. So I had got that touchdown. The only thing I'm not getting here is I had a touchdown to Christian McCaffrey. I thought he would get in the end zone today. Looked good. He was running really hard. But then maybe he's done for the season now with whatever injury he has here. So it's been a good night. I am not complaining. I would like Buffalo not to allow any more points to San Fran. So let's just end this game. And I'm a good guy.
You know what? I've got a bunch of San Francisco props that I'm still hoping to hit. Things have gone very well here. Obviously, as a Bills fan, I'm very happy. The Bills are rolling along right now. Now, things get a little trickier for the Buffalo Bills coming up, guys. And then it settles down after. There's two more sort of. And even though the Rams won the game today, and I was on the Rams today, the Rams really aren't great. They're okay. The Rams are going to be really good, guys, in 2 years. Sean McVay is such a good coach. People don't realize it, that they've got 16 rookies on their roster. 16 rookies, guys. they've got like, I don't know what was it? I think it was 33 players, 32 or 33 players under the age of 25 on their roster. Like they're super, super, super young, the Rams, besides Kupp and Stafford, right? Even Nukua's young. Well, not that. He played at BYU, so no one's young at BYU, but they're a super young team, and they're still battling and competitive. But it's basic, they have their flaws, the Rams. They're not a perfect team. And McVay's a madman who never takes field goals and goes for it all the time, even though they won the game today. But that's who the Bills get next, George, in Los Angeles. So the Bills are at the Rams. And then the big one, man, going to be the biggest regular season game of the year, along with that Bills-Chiefs game, Bills and Lions in 2 weeks. Buffalo are at Detroit, guys. And then after that, it settles down for the rest of the season. They get 3 weeks to sort of gear up. Patriots at Bills, Jets at Bills, Bills at Patriots to end the season.
Unless the Bills are taking the Rams for granted, looking ahead to Detroit, I don't see that game being – the Rams suck. All right, that's a blah team. Seattle's a blah team. Arizona's a blah team. See, that whole division's blah. And someone's got to win it. But none of those teams are good. I'm not worried about the Bills. They'll take – honestly, unless they're looking ahead to that Detroit game – they'll take care of business next week. I mean, this has been an ass kicking tonight. I mean, it's really been an ass. I know it's the snow and San Fran may not be used to it and blah, 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 but this is still an ass kicking. I think San Fran's about done, right? They may have been done anyway. Now you lose McCaffrey. I don't know when he's going to come back here. So I'm not impressed with that division whatsoever. I'm not impressed with the NFC. I'm not impressed with the NFC, really, outside of the North and Philadelphia. That's it. There's only 4 really good NFC teams here. Other than everyone else is just mediocre to bad, at least in my opinion here. Buffalo, I still think is the class of the AFC. And it doesn't become, I know you're a Bills fan, so a little different for you, but doesn't it become more and more every game? It's Buffalo. I mean, Baltimore lost again today, didn't look good. Right, Kansas City, I don't know if they have a voodoo doll. I don't know what the hell is going on here. The fumble, for some reason they won again. And, all right, that whatever, they're 10-2. I mean, it's great jobs there, but I don't think they're in the Buffalo Bills class. I don't. Sorry, I just don't here. So I think if you don't get it this year, at least get there. I don't know what to play, bro.
Yeah, you know what? The window, will always sort of be open with Josh Allen. But you're right. Like, it's been a lot of windows, been a lot of years, and this is starting to feel like it. They're peaking. Right, it's just they're on a roll right now. There's no turning back. They can't sort of go on cruise control. They'll be battling for first place or the top seed all year. And the Chiefs have a ton of tough games coming up, guys, and their schedule. Or starting on like the 15th of December, they play like 3 games in 10 days type, 9 days, whatever. It's insane. So finally, the Chiefs' popularity catches up to them. People always think about the conspiracy and the league wants them to win. Well, the league also wants them on TV all the time on the holidays. And they're going to be on TV all the time in really unorthodox, weird, like, positions. Like, weird days, too, like, that they're not used to playing on. All right, San Francisco gets a stop on 3rd down and 9. But like Kurt said, since the game's gone over the number, a lot of the stress has been alleviated. But this has been a weird prop game, Kurtz. Allen ends up scoring the touchdowns. Cook scores a touchdown. Garendo scores a touchdown tonight, but Ray Davis scoring the first touchdown was a curveball that we didn't see coming. That was a little bit frustrating. Then Cooks lights it up and scores the next one.
Yeah, you had Ray Davis. God bless you. I took the running backs because I figured it'd be a running game here. Not much of a throwing with the wind here. I think he just missed the field goal. That's good for me. Thank you. Oh, wrong team. I didn't care. He could have hit it. Doesn't matter.
No, I needed this. I got the long field goal prop over. Oh, come on,
you took that in this game?
We live in a society right now where everybody's a snowflake, everybody's a cupcake, and everybody thinks that nothing is fair. Everything is like, it's not fair. We should have a better chance. We need more. You know what? I'm old enough to remember when you needed to have a perfect goddamn record to win a college football championship. That's the way it was. 11-1, too bad.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Grandma Bear, who owns the football team, probably comes in, gives a little, oh, man, you're such a good little boy out there. Congratulations, the way you coach this football team. I'm never going to fire you.
Quarterly, I missed you pinching your own cheek as I was
that's what your
looking down
grandma
and did
does,
not
right?
know we were getting.
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there with that guy named Ben. Like, that's what your grandma will do to you when you go see her on Thanksgiving or Christmas,
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Together, both Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson had huge nights. Aaron Rodgers loves the two big targets, and he says if this is going to happen, going to be very tough on the defense to decide who they want to go after.
Adams and this kid Wilson, I won't deny what they can do, but nobody else does jack.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
In-game live game day continues. The San Francisco 49ers still have their starters on the field. They're down 35-10. Dobbs is on the sidelines. He's got his helmet on. But Purdy's on the field, and I'm hoping for a couple, I don't know, maybe we can backdoor a couple of these wide receiver props on the way out. It's not looking good, though. It's been a train wreck, this game. And Purdy, you know what? I'm not going to blame the weather for Purdy. The guy's not healthy. I don't even know why he's playing. Really, you can tell they can't throw the ball. I mean, you see him throwing it like 2 yards all the time. They clearly rushed him back out of panic, and now they just got him murdered in the snow here tonight. Brock Purdy's 11-17 for 94 yards. We did hit the Josh Allen, though, guys. George, earlier in the game, they made Josh Allen passing yard prop 136.5 yards. So he finished 148. It wasn't, we didn't kill it, but it gets there. Dawson Knox, though, is at 2. We got over 2.5. Shakir's only at 4. Cooper has 3 catches, but nobody's really got anything. San Francisco, nobody's got anything here. Jennings got 3 catches. His prop is 4.5. Samuel did go over the original 3.5. I bet him 5.5 at the half. I'm going to lose. McCaffrey had 2 early catches and got hurt, left the game. George Kittle is a surprise for me, Kurtz. 1 catch, 7 yards for Kittle. Only targeted twice.
Yeah, I didn't play any pass catches. It's not so much the snow that bothered me, it was the wind, and I was also worried about Purdy if he would finish the game here. I think he's only playing because they need to win, right? And I have no idea why he's in now, by the way. This is just
why is he playing now? They're down 25.
Right, the game's over. Keep him healthy here. I mean, I know I may think they're done, but, hey, if they win out, they probably win that division still. Do I think they're going to win out? No. But theoretically, you still have a shot at it. And I suppose the last wild card maybe as well. But I don't know why he's playing right now. This game's toast. It's over. It's 8-12 left.
Samuel just dropped the ball, too. Samuel just dropped it. It was right to him. Samuel
West Coast
dropped it.
Playing this, man. They're just not used to it. They can say anything they want. It's hard. The Buffalo's used to it. They're not.
Yeah, Buffalo are more used to it, at least. You're right. It's not good for anybody. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
All right, what's going on here?
That's gonna screw some fantasy teams. Oh, there's a flag anyway. It may not matter.
Oh, they returned it. Man, there's been a lot of big returns tonight. So Buffalo is that touchdown return for the Buffalo Bills, dives into the snow. Yet, as Kurt says, there's a flag on the play.
They're still celebrating.
There's a flag on the play.
Now,
wow, Buffalo are celebrating.
Now they just showed the hold on TV.
Corrington.
And it did open the hole. It did open the hole. He wouldn't have gotten a touchdown without it.
Someone's got to tell him, though, Kurtz. He's jumped into the stands in the whole 9 yards. Whatever. They won the game. So
have some fun. Have some fun.
Yeah.
It was a one-score game. I might feel differently. 25. Go ahead. Hey, by the way, these fans who sat through this, God bless you. First of all, no way in hell.
Well, you know what?
am I doing that.
Well, you're soft. Because you know what? I wish I was
used to
there.
ref outdoors for 25 years. Soft, I'm not, but I could move reffing.
But
I can't move.
But the thing is,
I don't drink.
Yeah, well, that's true. You don't drink, so I can understand the frustration. If you're drunk, it's a little bit different. I can't deny that. So, but to me, Kurtz, it's not so much being in the stadium during the game like that, especially if you dress for it. You dress for it, you're fine, right? Like even a Seattle Bills game I went to, it was pouring rain, but I was fine because I was prepared for it. But man, George, it's not easy, bro, getting in and out of that stadium on the best of days. Like, let alone in this snowstorm. Like the city of Buffalo, I saw they ran out of snowplows and stuff. Like they got the city's half like shut down right now, right? Like so, and they're not even in Buffalo. They're in the middle of nowhere, and there's like one road in and out of there. Like a lot of these stadiums, the older stadiums, there's literally one road in and one road out. It's the same road. Like so, that's the adventure, Kurt. So God bless them for that, because it's literally going to take people like 4 or 5 hours to get home after.
Were you surprised they didn't move the games tomorrow?
No, I think they like this TV stuff.
There is a state of emergency up there. I mean, I guess Hopper didn't ask for it. By the way,
no, you're right. Didn't really
the Bulls
kick
getting
in
a new
yet.
stadium, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're already building it. They showed it tonight. Yeah.
Is this new stadium not going to have a dome? All right, I think we're paying, and yes, I can say we because I'm the taxpayer.
Yeah, you're right. You are paying for it. Yeah. The New York State.
I mean, how are we not having a dome? I just you're paying $1 billion anyway, or $1.5 billion, whatever the hell it is. How are we not getting a dome? I don't understand
wanted
that.
To keep the Bills, that feel. I guess they figured, you know what? They're not going to give us a Super Bowl anyways in Buffalo, even if we had a dome. So they probably figured the Super Bowl's not coming to Buffalo, even though it would have been cool. It's going to have, I believe it has sort of some
overhangs,
little bit of protection. Yeah.